going on, everybody? Welcome to the Forever I Love Atlanta Sports Podcast, or the FILA Sports Podcast, aka it's your boy Coach Mario and my co-host Don. What's going on, Don?
What's good? How y'all doing this evening? Glad y'all can be with us. I know if y'all, we don't have that many views from our latest video we shot a couple of hours ago. Our big announcement that we are now part of the Unintentional Grounding family. So make sure you subscribe to the Lieutenant Dan's channel, Unintentional Grounding, Mike Sports, Jazzy Jeff Real Talk. Also, Rise Up Rundown. All of their links in the description. So make sure you go subscribe to their channels as well. Now, if you're new to our channel, you already know what to do. Subscribe to our channel. Yes, there's a red button below this video. It says subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notification bell. We do a video, at least one video a week. Sometimes we may do two or three. It all depends on what's going on in the sports scene here in the city. Also, share this video with other Atlanta sports fanatics. Also, hit that like button. And if you're watching this video at a later time, make sure you hit us up in the comment section, and we'll get back with your comments. As always,
come holla.
It's your hometown sports podcast. All right, we have a special guest on with us tonight. Tell us about yourself and tell them where they can find you and what you do.
So first off, appreciate you guys having me on. I'm Matt Karoly. Been following the Falcons since 2002 during the Mike Vick era from Allentown, Pennsylvania. So, I'm out of towner, but love the Falcons. Started writing for the team in 2016, their Super Bowl season at Blogging Dirty, part of the Fansided Network. And December 2017, I ended up making a transition, going over to Rise Up Reader, doing some writing there. And then this past year, me and Aaron Freeman, every Falcons fan know who Aaron Freeman is from falcfans.com. Me and him got together. We started doing the Falcon Central Radio podcast, taking over for Scott Karasik, who was his co-host for many years. So Aaron and I talking Falcons Tuesday nights. Every Tuesday during the season, during the off season, every other Tuesday maybe. But yeah, that's my story. I've been covering the team now, going on 4 seasons, and we're waiting for that Super Bowl title, and I know it's going to come during this Matt Ryan era, and I can't wait to cover that and talk more about that. But yeah, once again, appreciate you guys having me on here.
All right, good. Glad you could join us, man. Also, as far as our social media, if you haven't been following us, also follow us on Twitter at FILA_SP. Also follow us on Facebook. It's FILA Sports Podcast. And on Instagram at FILA Sports Podcast. So we everywhere in the social media world. So you have no excuse on what we doing or what's going on. We also send y'all alerts of what goes on with every Atlanta sports team. So yes, we do a lot of work around here. So if you just follow us, you'll know what's going down in the FILA Sports Podcast realm of things. Also, if you haven't been following us on Spotify, we also on Spotify. Go over to Spotify if you have an account. Create your account if you don't have one, but create an account and type in Forever I Love Atlanta Sports Podcast, and you'll find our content. And I upload every show every week. All right. So after we do this live show, probably in the next couple of days, this show will drop on Spotify. For my people who just don't like the video, I guess y'all think we just ugly or whatever. But whatever the case may be, I don't have no hard feelings or whatever. I don't really care. So
I tried to get him to wear some shades and a hat, y'all.
I don't care. But anyway, but we also on Google Podcasts as well. The links in the description as well. So everything y'all need to know about our podcast, everything is in the description. So as far as our affiliates for Unintentional Grounding, our Spotify, Google Podcasts. our social media accounts, all that's in the description. So you just hit that drop button and go ahead and I guess follow whoever you want to follow, subscribe to whatever channel you want to subscribe to. All right, so let's go ahead and get down to the business of the night, man.
All right, well, let's run down the weekend Atlanta sports real quick. Atlanta Dream. Tuesday, we did what we do. We lost to LA 78-66. Season's winding down. We'll be out of our misery soon. What United do this week, Don?
And before we get to United, man, I don't know when the next time Dream gonna win a game. I need to know.
I mean, I really think they turned. I think they've checked out pretty much at this point. So they thinking about going over to Europe and getting the bigger checks. Yeah, I think they checked out at this point. I think it's a wrap.
Okay, well, I get it anyway. So, Atlanta United, they had a game against Los Angeles Football Club, LAFC, on Friday night. Well, we had the match seemed well in the first 2 minutes because we scored in the first 2 minutes of the match, and everything else went downhill. And a lot of people are frustrated, and some people saying that the formation, I guess we played Friday, it just did not match up. So, yeah, we lost that game, but hopefully we can bounce back because right now is we're getting down to the last 2 or 3 months of the season, and we can't be affording to lose a game here, win a game here. We need to go on the streak. We need to go on the win streak to get into the playoffs and potentially have that momentum to win another cup.
Yeah.
So, all right. Also, it's been quiet in the Hawks organization. They signed the former Maverick Ray Spalding to a non-guaranteed contract. I think it's just like a 1-year deal. So it's nothing really big. That's pretty much all that's going on as far as Hawks basketball. All right, what the Braves do this week?
Up and down. Tuesday, we had the Royals. We dropped Tuesday 5-4 to Kansas City, and then Wednesday we lost 2-0. Just couldn't get any runs going. Friday came division. We got those Phillies in here. We love to see those Phillies and beat on their head. We beat them 9-2 on Friday, and then we beat them 15-7 on Saturday. And the game today, I actually didn't even check the score. What did we end up doing today?
We lost today.
Yeah, well, what was the final? When I never did look at the final.
Give me 1 second real quick.
Yeah. While he looks that up, we got Danzig.
I knew they had nine runs. I didn't know how many runs we scored because like after a certain time, I just said forget about it. I'm not going to watch this. I got other stuff I need to do. But yeah, it was 9-4.
Yeah. Nick Markakis got hit flush on the wrist the other day. He'll be out. I've heard it's probably 6 to 8 weeks. Well, they're basing that when Freddie Freeman had the same injury, he had 6 to 8 weeks. So that's why I'm getting this from. Dansby's banged up a little bit as well. Dansby got a heel. He's got a bad heel. They calling it contusion. I think it's like a more contusion could be a bruise. And call Adam Duvall up from AAA. And it's been reported that we'll possibly do a deal with the Blue Jays. They had a high-level scout here to watch right-handed pitcher Tristan Beck. And last night, Stroman, Giles, Hudson, Sogard, each could all fit Atlanta's roster. So they had a couple of scouts checking out. I heard a couple other deals too, but basically coming to the trade deadline, and we're trying to get a couple arms.
I heard, just to jump in for a second, I heard on ESPN that Stroman, I think, was dealt to the Mets, which was kind of confusing to me, if that's true. Because I didn't think the Mets would be buyers, but apparently they like what they see in Stroman. But I did see that they're also dangling Syndergaard. So, again, I'm not sure what the Mets are doing. I know you guys being in division stuff.
Yeah, why would they be buying?
Yeah, they
For
seem to
real.
be out of it, but
I
that's
know.
what I saw on ESPN, that Stroman's off the market now, and he's in New
And
York.
for all my Braves fans, that some of you want Madison Bumgarner, probably not going to be happening because the Giants aren't going to win the division out there. The Dodgers are, but the Giants could be in wild card contention. And I've also heard that basically there are people with more attractive offers than Atlanta would be willing to offer. So it looks like that Madison Bumgarner looks like that's not going to happen for
And
everybody who
shouts
want it.
out to Mario. We had a talk yesterday before I guess the gates opened up, going to training camp, and
Mario Falcon.
Yeah, Mario Falcon.
What up, folks?
And he said something. He said we pretty much went out to argument, like it's just a debate. He said that we need a closer, and I said we really don't. Well, we need
or
relief.
starter.
Yeah, we need a relief. We need some relief pitchers,
or a starter that can get to, or a starter that can go 7.
Yeah, but it's kind of hard to find a starter right now in this part of the season to find a solid starter that can get you 7 innings. You're not gonna find that till really the off season, unless you want to throw everything at the team and say, "Huh, we'll take this person and we'll sell you everything and SunTrust Park too."
Yeah.
But right now we need relief pitchers. Say for instance a pitcher can only give us 4 innings. Okay, cool. If we can get a relief pitcher to come in and pitch 2.5 innings or 3 innings, I think that's a win. That's a win situation for us.
Yeah.
Like the closer job is to close out the 9th inning. Most of those runs that come from my opponents don't come in the 9th inning. It comes in innings 6 through 8. So I just want to point that out to you guys. Like I understand, yes, somebody bringing up ERA and all that. Just watch the game. If you watch the games, you know that we give up runs in 6 through 8. So, and also if y'all ain't following Cassidy, man, please follow her. All right, follow her on YouTube. She does a great job covering the Braves and breaking down each player's stats. So go follow her as well.
All right, and we know y'all down to get to some football talk real quick. Let me Georgia Tech Fan Day is set for August 3rd at Bobby Dodd, free for all fans. I'm pretty sure Georgia's Fan Day is as well. This was a big weekend, college recruiting. Just about every major, especially all the D1 colleges had some type of big recruiting event Friday and Saturday. Most of them call it some type of Friday night lights. Y'all probably saw Kirby sliding down. I know Georgia Tech was doing something as well. So colleges, most of them, Florida and Miami actually played the 23rd. They started camp last Thursday. So Florida and Miami have already started camp, and most of your favorite teams will be starting this Thursday or this weekend. So college will be starting this weekend as well. And everybody knows I'm a huge high school football fan. Love high school football fan. Always hit me up on Twitter to talk high school football. They put on the pads August 1st, which is Thursday this week. So high school football and college gearing up. And that's all for the A-Town Sports Report. Look, I just gave it a name. I think I stole that. Don't 97.5 or something do that? Yeah, it's ours now. Forget y'all. But for the topic at hand, man, some Falcons football, man. Let's go on. Let's get into it.
All right. So the beginning of the training camp, the day 1 of training camp, we had, I guess, some terrible news. JJ Wilcox, he's going to be out for the season with a torn ACL. And Michael Bennett, he's also placed on IR with a broken ankle. Some people saying that he may come back.
Broken ankle will be 6 weeks. He'll come back. He'll be broken. Now, of course, he'll have some rehab. He won't be full back, but he'll be available to play.
But here's the thing, though.
If he has a spot.
If he has a spot, because guess what? We signed Allen Bailey to a 2-year deal worth $10.5 million.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we also signed Stephon Anthony, the linebacker, and then also another linebacker, Richard Brown. All right. So before we get into the get to the bulk part of the show, let's go holler at the people in the chat, man. What's going on in the chat?
We got in the chat, we got the real Pat man checking in. What's going on, Pat? We got Rose Stockton. What's going on? We got the boy Jonathan Foskey. Thanks for tuning in. He says Trey and John have been selected to the USA team. For real? I didn't even see that, Jonathan. I'm gonna check that out. Okay,
Yeah,
appreciate you
I
letting
need
us
to look
know.
at that. Yeah.
Yeah. Jarvis Williams said, Don, I was at practice yesterday when this idiot threw the football at Matt's face. Yeah, me and Don was down there. We were to the right of that a little bit. We were over by Julio. We didn't see it.
No. We left.
We had walked away. Yeah, we had walked
We
away.
got look.
Yeah.
When because Matt Ryan wasn't even
He came out later.
in the area when we was over there. Like when we left, Matt Ryan was, I guess, doing media videos or whatever. But talking to doing interviews or whatever. But trust me, if we was there, well, I'm myself. I was there.
John would have fought him.
If I was there and I saw that, oh, you already know. You already know. Like, but we're gonna get into that in a minute because that's a topic on the show. So I'm gonna save that for later.
And we got the boy I-20 Eric. What's going on, Eric? Mad Mike checking in. Cassidy is brilliant with the Braves recap. She is brilliant as well, man. Y'all check Cassidy out. We had her on the show. And Georgia picked up another commitment. I-20 Eric says this one from four-star OT Chad Lindbergh. He 2021, Eric. He's a 2021 kid. That's what's going on, everybody in the chat. All right, now let's get into the meat and potatoes.
All right. So Hooper made a comment this week. He said there's a lot of cool up tempo style of plays. All right. What do you guys get from that?
I mean, going back to Dirk Cutter's, I think, first stint with the Falcons, there was a lot of use of the no huddle. I think that's where Matt kind of shined and really came into his own as a quarterback, kind of, calling the shots himself, reading the coverages, checking to the right plays. And I think we're going to see a little bit of a return of that. Because again, that's something Dirk Cutter has kind of always done. And I think that fits Matt's skill set perfectly. So I think you will see a lot of that, especially with an outside zone, run team. Those are big athletic guys. You kind of want to, force your will, exert your will on the other team with pace and with tempo. And I think that's what the no huddle will allow you. And, that's kind of what I, got a little bit from what Hooper said there. I mean, we'll see once the games get rolling, here in the preseason, if there's anything else to that. But that's the first takeaway, I think, that I would expect from those comments.
Okay. Coach?
I just believe that there's a familiarity and a comfortability, which word I'm trying to say, comfortability. I can never get that word out right. Just between Matt and Dirk and Julio and Freed. Now, I believe that it's just a well-oiled machine, and it's just the language and the relationship is so good, and it's going to translate on the field that just right now, me and Matt, he's in his prime. He's a vet. And we have other vets in their prime who've been playing with Matt for years and know what they expect. And we should see that play out on the field. And I believe that Dirk is just the one who knows them well enough to be able to push those buttons better than Sark could. He knows where Matt is going to thrive. He knows where, Free, he just knows the player's strengths, and he's going to be able to play to that more.
Yeah. I agree. I don't really see it as some people saying he throwing shade, I guess, on Sarkisian. I don't really think it's that. I really think that, Hooper, believe it or not, he's on his third offensive coordinator. All right. Remember, he was here. He was a rookie with Kyle Shanahan. Was here. He had 2 years under Sark, and then now he's transitioning to his fourth season with Dirk Carter. I really feel like, and then also you also got to put into content that Mike Mularkey, he's a tight end coach, so he's going to have a say. Mike Mularkey is going to have a say what's going on on his offense. So I really think that this new scheme is going to benefit the tight ends more. And we've seen in that practice that they target the tight ends a lot. Remember that, Coach?
Yeah, and you saw that same play that Hooper, you guys saw the touchdown on today. We saw that same play yesterday, same route, same corner of the end zone. But I mean, come on. When you have a guy who can catch the ball like Free can't catch the ball out of the backfield. He's not the receiver Coleman was, but he can't catch it out of the backfield. And then you got Red, Sanu, and Julio. I'm sorry. We all know in the NFL you can't play man all game, and in the zone somebody's gonna be open with all those weapons. I mean, if Matt goes back to 2016, which it seems like the past couple of years he's more comfortable with spreading the ball around. So you can't cover everybody. Somebody's gonna be open.
And then we also seen 2 tight end set too, because Sauber and Hooper were out there on the same plays. Now, this was what during when I was at practice. All right, when I was at practice, someone told me, and I ain't finna put nobody on, but I don't even know the name. I don't even know the man name from a Hill of Beans, but I can tell you he's a Bama fan. He's a diehard Bama fan. All right. This man told me that we should never got rid of Steve Sarkisian. He said Sarkisian wasn't the problem. Matt Ryan was the problem because Matt Ryan couldn't adjust to Sarkisian's play calling. He said Sarkisian is a brilliant play calling, and Matt Ryan just couldn't get familiar with it. And what we should have done was we should have. He said that we should have traded Matt Ryan. And Matt Ryan for a first-round pick, and in the 2020 draft, we'll draft Tua from Alabama. When he said all that, man,
yeah, you lost me there.
I just had to walk away, man. Like these people with these college fandoms bringing it to the pro. Can y'all just stop doing that? Like, I'm a Michigan fan, but you're not finna hear me say that Shea Patterson should be the starting quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. I'm not finna say no crap like that. Just stop it.
Hopefully for the Saints, he'll quarterback.
Like, I just wanted to point that out. People just say dumb stuff, for no reason.
Yeah, I'm curious, your guys' thoughts, because Eric Saubert's a guy that I've kind of been saying, could be on the roster bubble. I mean, they brought back Logan Paulson, again, vet min contract, so he's not guaranteed or locked in anything. They brought Luke Stocker in. He's likely going to be the tight end too. But what have you seen from Saubert when you were at practice the other day? I mean, is he showing improvement? Do we think there's something to worry about with his roster?
He made a couple of catches, and he made a good catch over on Campbell. So he made Campbell his little baby.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I just want to see that translate to the preseason and the games, because if you remember from last year, he made a few over Keanu and stuff in practice and training camp and all that. But we didn't really see a whole lot, and maybe having a new offensive coordinator, there'll be something different with that, because Cutter and them did have success with 2 tight end sets in Tampa. But yeah, he's one that I'm curious about, and I want to see him show up in the preseason, because again, they brought back Logan Paulson. They know what they can expect from him. So if Saubert doesn't show improvement,
don't make the team.
Yeah, I mean,
Stocker's going to be on the team.
Well, yeah, there's no chance of that happening based on the contract they gave him. So
exactly.
I mean, Saubert really just has to show that he's better than Paulson, which I wouldn't be shocked if he does, but I need to see it. So that's one guy I got my eye on.
The battle right now, I think, is between Paulson and Saubert.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking
for sure.
And then Luke, I think Luke, if they're going to try to, I guess, because we don't have a fullback right now.
Yeah, he's likely going to be.
So you can put Luke at fullback.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? And then you can still carry a few tight ends, and so you'll still be fine.
Yep. Yeah, I mean that's a dangerous look too. I mean, because you got him as a blocker in the backfield, you still have to guard against him. I mean, there was a couple plays, I think, when he was in Tennessee where they leaked him out of the backfield, and he was left wide open. And that's the type of stuff that Kyle Shanahan was famous for doing, was leaking those tight ends out, and they'd be wide open. So we'll see if Cutter can do something similar. But I think with Stocker as a fullback, there's a good chance of seeing something like that.
If he can contribute his special teams, maybe he can get that role. But if they're not going to be able to contribute on special teams,
which I don't think you're talking Stocker contribute on special teams or Saubert, the third guy.
Or the third guy,
absolutely. That's important too.
He's going to have to be a contributor on
special
teams.
They have to. Yeah. For sure.
Can't just be over there the fourth tight end, just drinking Gatorade.
No.
No, sir.
All right. Let's go back into the chat real quick before we transition to another topic.
All right, we had several people join. Let me see. We had CC Ryder join the chat. What's going on, CC?
What's good, CC Ryder? I ain't heard
Don
from you
said,
in a minute, man.
Mad Mike said, why didn't you let him know that you were getting Matt on tonight?
Appreciate that, Mike.
I posted it out yesterday.
Yeah,
No,
he had.
I tweeted it out.
Yeah.
He just missed it, I guess.
He did. Yeah, Mad Mike ain't even following us on Twitter. Yeah.
You hate to see it.
I did that and Facebook.
Yeah. RWBY freshman says Matt Ryan in the no huddle is going to be crazy great this season. I'm just hyped to see what we can do, and I have a great feeling about this season. I hope we win it all this year. Yes, sir. CC Ryder. We also had everybody telling them that we announced it earlier, man. Mike, yeah. Jarvis Williams. Who else we got in the chat? We have I-20 Eric says college and pro is not the same thing. Many people need to stop that. Exactly. I'm a diehard Alabama fan, and I don't want Tua to be our quarterback. Yeah. I mean, Matt is in his prime, so if you want a guy who's a future Hall of Famer not to be your quarterback in his prime, come on, man, you're being ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And somebody said that dude that said that about Alabama is probably the same dude that threw the football and hit Matt Ryan in the head.
That was CC Ryder said. It probably was.
For real.
It probably was. Or it probably been a person there with a Vic jersey on. And let me stop. I ain't even finna go into that.
Dog, come on, please don't start that one. Yeah. All right, and Matt Mike said, Karoly, why don't you Karoly, I'm sorry, why don't you I always thought it was Karoly, I'm sorry. No, Karoly. Always Matt Mike said, Karoly, why don't you talk to me? And that Georgia boy just joined. What's going up? What's going on? We get a little taste of football Thursday. Yes, we do.
Yes. I can't wait to Thursday.
All right. So back to some count talk. One thing that I noticed yesterday that I was heavily watching, Don was heavily watching the line, and I was heavily watching Isaiah Oliver. I love defensive back. I love defensive back. They were working red zone and in the goal line. And we all remember, the game last year where he gave up the play and I forgot what game it was. The red zone touchdown was it Baltimore?
Cincinnati, I think.
Cincinnati, yeah, we are. Yep, Cincinnati. We all remember that. Yep. I really saw some things I liked out of Isaiah Oliver yesterday. Body positioning on the goal line, the way he slid inside, the way he positioned his body. I saw some nice things I like, and he got a lot of check marks from me yesterday. But just watching his footwork, just the way he watched. Yeah.
He still need to work on turning his head around because come on now, we saw he was lined up against Gage, and what happened every time Gage?
He did. Gage made some plays.
Yeah, Gage made some plays.
What's the boy? 17, the boy from Virginia.
Monday Zacharias.
That kid is making some plays, and he made some plays today. I heard too. Watch him. He's making some plays. He made several plays yesterday, and they said he made some today too. So he made some great catches yesterday. He didn't look like a rookie out there.
I think him and Bethune are the two undrafted free agents that have the best shot to make the team. That's my take.
Oh, he's definitely gonna make the practice squad. He's
for sure.
He's definitely gonna be on practice squad. Yeah. He if you were looking yesterday, he didn't look like a rookie. You were looking like we were like, hey, who is 17? Like, yeah.
Well, I think he's Virginia's all-time leading receiver too. So the man did some stuff in college. Whether it's size or some athleticism questions, I think that's why he went undrafted. But
he's taller than I thought he'd be.
On video,
I thought he'd be little. He was taller than I thought.
On video, he did look pretty tall. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
But putting on his tape, back at Virginia, there's several plays where him as a route runner, as a separator, definitely kind of went under the radar in that regard because I think Virginia's offense was really bad watching them.
Yeah.
Offensive line couldn't protect their quarterback. So he couldn't, Zacchaeus couldn't get to, highlight his route running abilities. But I think in Atlanta, in this offense, there's no question he'll get to do that. And making some of those contested catches that I saw in practice, I mean, that's a good sign. So now it really becomes a question if he can really show some stuff in the return game, which they gave him a couple opportunities, it looks like. If he can show some stuff there, then I think that just increases his chances to be maybe that sixth receiver that sticks on the 53-man roster.
I saw him a little bit this year. I actually went to the Tech and Virginia game this year. They played at Tech. I actually went to that game this year. Tech won at the end. But I did see a little bit. Yeah, but that kid.
I think wasn't I don't know if you remember. Didn't he finish like maybe 3 touchdowns in that game? There was one game
Yeah,
I think he had 3 touchdowns.
yeah, he caught like a little out a couple times and they couldn't bring him down and he got up the sideline
And he went
and
the
that happened
distance.
a couple times. Yeah, like a little 8-yard pass and shook him off. He did that a
Yeah,
couple
so
times.
he's got some
Yeah.
he's got some yak ability too. I mean,
Oh, definitely. And they didn't catch him.
he's
No, and they did not
he's a
catch
fun
him.
prospect. So hopefully,
Yes.
whether he is the practice squad or not, they can kind of hold
Yeah.
on to him for potentially 2020 and down the road.
Yeah, because you got to think about this here. All right. Sanu's on the one. Sanu has this is last year.
Most likely.
We brought,
Unfortunately.
we brought back Justin Hardy. Okay.
1 year. Yep.
So those 2 receivers are potentially going to be gone.
Right.
Either sometime this season or if not this season, they will be gone after 2019. All right.
Yeah.
So what you can do is you can plug in Zacchaeus and what's the other player?
Gage. What are you talking?
Not Gage is going to make the squad. Gage.
Yeah. Marcus Green.
Not Green, but what's the other player that?
Are you talking undrafted guys now?
Undrafted, because
No, Christian Blake.
Rico pretty much said something.
Oh, Christian Blake. You're talking.
Yeah, Blake.
Blake. Yeah, he's one to watch. I'm curious about how he's going to perform in the preseason games because you're right. Rico made the comment that he's catching a lot, raising a lot of eyebrows. And then there was a clip I saw on their Instagram page, Falcons Instagram page, that Sanu and Matt Ryan were kind of giving some teaching moments to Christian Blake, kind of with Blake's releases off the line of scrimmage. So the fact that he's in their ear and those guys are helping him out. That bodes well. So he's definitely a guy I expect to definitely be again on the practice squad. He was on the practice squad last year, and potentially you're right. I mean, he can maybe be that 6th guy as well. That's the thing with there's not a lot of questions I have about this roster going forward as far as who's going to make it and who's not. But the bottom of the wide receiver depth chart is one of them where I think you could have 3 different guys this year being wide receiver 4 through 6. And Blake's one of those guys that I think is in that running. So yeah, he's definitely someone to watch out for as well, in addition to Zacchaeus.
Because he can be that slot receiver threat.
Yeah,
they had him in slot
right.
yesterday. He did well. He got tremendous route running.
There's an article that Jason Butt from The Athletic wrote that kind of went through all those other receivers and they're called the clones and Jason was saying in the article that Christian Blake is the clone of Mohamed Sanu. So like you were saying, this is likely Mohamed Sanu's final season in Atlanta. It would be great if they have a clone for him moving forward, and that clone could be Christian Blake. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And also going on the defensive side, Jordan Miller. This is one player that is
stand up. Jordan Miller. I'm a huge fan of him. So yeah, it's great to see some of the positive remarks coming about him.
Sheffield.
Sheffield's been doing good too, but Miller, Sheffield. Miller has been outshining Sheffield in count.
I just think
many pass breakups by Miller.
Yeah, I mean,
he reminds me. Miller reminds me a lot like KZ. Far as playing on the ball, making plays on the ball.
Yeah, I mean, for me, when I watched, the 2 between Miller and Sheffield coming out of college. I know I see what they love about Sheffield with the speed, obviously, and that will be an asset, at some point in his Falcons career. But I just, always thought that Jordan Miller was the more pro-ready player as far as technique go and polish and mirroring technique and all that, and making plays on the ball. So yeah, it's no surprise that he's getting these rave reviews. I wouldn't be shocked if he made more of an impact in year 1 than Sheffield does. And maybe is the 4th cornerback if one of those guys above him were to go down. But again, we are just talking practice, so I want to see all this stuff translate into the game setting because that's really when you can make concrete judgments on these guys. But yeah, it's hearing this already that the vets are praising him and then seeing all the pass breakups. Yeah, it's a positive sign from a 5th round pick. It's looking like a draft steal.
Yeah, I think Miller will he's going to have a great rookie year. He's not going to be rookie of the year or anything like that, but I think he's going to, as the role he's playing in, I think he's going to do well.
Cool.
Now, far as the future of Jordan Miller, I really want them to really have him play some safety because I think Rico, he only has 2 years left on his deal. So when Rico leaves, you just put Jordan Miller in that spot, and we'll be fine. We won't miss a beat.
I wouldn't doubt Rico, though. I mean, I know he's coming off this Achilles injury, but hearing these stories now that, last offseason he was meeting with the offensive coaches, and Dan Quinn said he's never seen that before. I mean, Rico's doing stuff that, again, his story arc is pretty amazing. Starting as a 5th-round pick, slot corner, got cut, is on the practice squad, and then makes this transition to safety. I mean, he's always been doubted. He's always been counted out. And I even counted him out a year or so ago. I didn't think he was going to get a second contract here in Atlanta. He does. And, I'm not going to make that same mistake again. I'm not going to count him out. I can see him playing out this contract. I mean, he's only 26, 27. He's just entering the prime of his career.
Yeah, I'm not saying that we go bench him. What I'm
No,
saying
I know that.
Once his contract up, because here's the thing: we know Rico's gonna play at a high level, but here's the thing: like, are we gonna? We can't resign everybody. That's the situation we in right now.
Sure.
The business aspect of it is we can move on if Jordan Miller is performing and developing in the rate that he's doing, at a rate that we need him to be.
Yeah.
After
but if he's developing well at cornerback, why would you want to change that?
What'd you say now?
If he's developing well at cornerback, which is what it looks like he's doing, why would you want to change that and move him to a position where I don't recall if he's ever played that, whether it's high school or college. I just don't know if that's a fit.
I think it is. I think he could perform it as a safety.
I think
I gotta go back and look at some more Washington film and see if he played safety. But I'm pretty sure if you put him there in that free safety spot, I'm pretty sure because he has great awareness. Yeah. And to play a free safety position, if you have great awareness, like you good,
right. I'd almost rather see Sheffield. Now, again, I'm not advocating both, but Sheffield's speed. I mean, you need to have the range to play that center field free safety role to cover that whole back third of the field. And I'm not sure if Jordan Miller necessarily has that speed or the range to do that. Sheffield might. But again, I mean, I think the long-term outlook for Jordan Miller, for me, is potentially, again, we'll see what Trufant does. All the reports indicate he's having a great offseason, and maybe we're in store for a bounce-back year from him. But if they did want to move on to, again, save money, like you said, because it's a business and they have to make some tough decisions, I could see Jordan Miller stepping in across from Isaiah Oliver and potentially being that cornerback 2, and Oliver would get promoted to that cornerback 1. So that's really what my long-term outlook is. We'll see what they do. I mean, they've surprised us before, but I think these guys were drafted to be long-term developmental cornerbacks to potentially replace a guy like Desmond Trufant maybe.
Yeah, and Lieutenant Dan said it as well. I agree with that as well. Yes, Miller can be True's replacement, but that's a couple of years down the road.
Yeah, I think so too.
I just don't want him just having limited snaps for the next couple of years and waiting for True to leave, and then
right. You saw it was with Isaiah Oliver. I mean, that was potentially a possibility when they drafted him in the second round, because say Robert Alford didn't drop off the face of the earth like he did with his play last year. They're not going to let him go, I don't think. But he did drop off. Isaiah Oliver in his limited snaps showed that he can handle a heavier workload. So we might see something similar too. If Jordan Miller proves that he's ready for a heavier workload in his limited time in his rookie year, they might make another decision where it's like, all right, the young kid's ready. He's on a cheap, affordable contract. We're going to make a tough decision and move on from Desmond Trufant. So again, I hear you. When you got these young rookies and stuff on the affordable contracts and they show that they can handle it, I think Dan Quinn and this coaching staff has shown that they're not scared to play the young guys then. We're seeing it now with Oliver, and I don't think they would waste his rookie contract on the bench, if he can handle more. So I wouldn't get too worried about that. I think, again, if Miller proves it on the field in live game settings, I think they'll get him on the field sooner rather than later.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's go back into the chat real quick.
Oh boy, something came up in the chat. The real Pat Man said, how about the disrespect of NFL Network and the top 100 with Matt Ryan being named number 69.
Yeah.
That's on our topics too. We're gonna talk about that. So
yeah, go ahead, and everybody in the chat pretty much comment on that. Yeah, and a few people that they really like Miller, that Georgia boy. He says Miller has speed and long arms, and they believe Miller is Chu's replacement. And I-20 Eric said, we can always move Casey to free safety if need be as well. But yeah, man, Matt Ryan being named number 69, man, that's like shocking, man. That's like unfortunately, in the NFL, great seasons go by the wayside without playoffs. If you rush for 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns and you miss the playoffs, you play on the West Coast, you don't play it's not in your division, you wouldn't know about it. If you have a great season and miss the playoffs in the NFL, it goes by the wayside. And unfortunately, man, people just don't know how good Matt is.
yeah, I thought it was really asinine that they had him at 69. Like, so you telling me there's 7 quarterbacks better than Matt Ryan? It's hard to believe, and I'm not going to believe that.
I mean, seeing Baker Mayfield as a rookie get to the 50 above him, that's what really kind of ticked me off.
You pretty much literally spit in Matt Ryan's face. You pretty much spit in the Atlanta Falcons fan base.
And they did too, because I just caught the clip. I didn't see it until today, the clip of the video, the 3-minute clip when they were talking about it. And they did spit in his face because, they brought on Cam Jordan to start the video and him cracking jokes about, how much he sacked Matt Ryan in his career. Like, there's nothing more you can say than it's very disrespectful. An MVP winning quarterback just 2 years removed, and then he matches his MVP numbers this past year and he drops 40 spots. Yeah, all I can say really is it's disrespectful. But it's not something we're not accustomed to seeing, because for whatever reason the national audience just loves to spit in the Falcons and their fans' faces. But yeah, the list is a joke at this point. It was probably ahead of this year, but it just gets worse and worse every year.
Cam Jordan, I respect the man.
He's a great player. He's a great player.
His ability, yes, his ability as a player. But as far as personal, dude is a glorified troll. And when they lost,
players in general, like in the last couple of years,
he was the main one crying with Michael Thomas. The whole couple of weeks leading up to the Super Bowl with the Rams, he was crying, trying to petition the league, throw flags, not games. He wore a whole shirt about it. Come on, man! Like, can't nobody. I don't take his credibility of raking players seriously. Because of course he's gonna vote all of his Saints players, his Saints buddies high, and he go vote all of his Cal, because he went to University of California. Yeah. He gonna rate those players high as well.
But you also see when Matt Ryan did his 69, they interviewed Cam on that as well, and he did nothing but praise him as well. Talked about how quick he releases the ball, and he said, I believe he said something that people don't know how good Matt is. I believe Cam said something. I might be wrong about that, but I know he talked about how Matt Ryan releases the ball, and you got to play him twice a year and that type of thing. He gave him praise, so he got to troll him as well. But the Saints know Matt Ryan is good. You see what Drew Brees said about him?
Why put him as a 69? Look, man, I'm gonna tell you. Look, Drew Brees, this man went 7-9 for 3 seasons straight, and not one time this man went below 30. They had this man ranked, I believe he went 7-9. They had this man ranked 25th or 26th, something like that.
Man, let's just be quiet and let Matt go off this year, and the team go off, and we can just sit back and be like, "Hey,
it's all about the perception, fellas." Had the Falcons just run the ball 3 times, it finished the game. Matt has the Super Bowl. It changes everything. The way you look at Matt Ryan, and because they didn't do that, they put the blame on him, and that's why he gets this disrespectful treatment.
The casual fan. casual fan thinks that Matt Ryan didn't play well in Super Bowl.
I know.
The casual fans, when you bring that up, he played terrible. Like, no,
absolutely.
he played awesome in the Super
Yeah,
Bowl.
one of the
But they don't think that.
ratings in Super Bowl history. Like that,
Yes.
that may not never be matched.
Yeah.
That may not never be matched again.
Right.
Yeah. But just they bring up the 28-3, just like, oh, Matt 28-3, like this man played awesome in the Super Bowl. You assume he played bad. He didn't. Yeah.
That's like he was on defense. Like the man, he's a quarterback. It's not our fault. The defense led up and kept letting the Patriots score, and then on top of that, converting every second 2-point conversions. That wasn't
and
fault.
For the 1,000th time, he didn't take a sack. He got sacked. Take a sack means you held the ball too long.
Yeah.
He didn't hold it too long.
Yeah.
He didn't take a sack. He got sacked. And sometimes taking a sack is the smartest play. Matt Ryan knew exactly where he was on the field when he got sacked anyway. He was still in the field goal range. Don't have to beat that dead horse. But stop acting like sacks. Your quarterback getting sacked is the worst thing. Sometimes the quarterback taking a sack is the smartest thing to do. Take a sack, live to see another down, punt the football away.
Exactly.
End every drive with a kick. Figure it out.
All right. Somebody said in the chat, Devontae Freeman is number 50 out of 100.
Hello, man. You think that's where he? In your opinion, Hollow Man, that's what you're saying? You think Devontae is that high as a player? I'm not disagreeing with you. We're just asking you.
Now, as far as the
you think he's that good.
NFL Network, no, the man been out the whole season.
Yeah, I'm just asking personal. Does Hollow Man feel that Devontae is that good? Yeah.
So he got Devontae Freeman got number 50 in the list. Is that what he's saying or no?
No. I think he's just saying. I think he's saying to him that Devontae Freeman should be 50.
And if he was, I won't be surprised because remember a couple of seasons ago they had JJ Watt ranked in the top 25, and he can say to himself like I only played 3 games.
Yeah, that would be confusing.
Devontae's not gonna make it this year. Nah, if he was gonna make it, he'd have been way up. So I don't think Free's gonna be on the list this year.
Yeah.
All right, transition to our other topic. There was a fan that threw a ball at Matt Ryan yesterday at the training camp. Look, it's one thing, I guess, to hate the guy, but when you try to assault a player, that's taking it to a whole nother level. And I don't know who it was, and whoever listened to this video, if you find out who it is, please report them to this. Please, hey, please, I ain't trying to do nothing, but please report them to the authorities. Like seriously. Well, we trying to win something. We trying to win the Super Bowl, and folks going around here throwing footballs and stuff. Like, come on now, like.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
Do we know if anything happened to that play fan or no?
I haven't. I didn't hear. Kareem Peach. Peach Kareem wanted to follow as a big Falcon fan on Twitter. What's going on? She said she was standing right next to the guy. She said something to him, but I'm pretty sure if something happened to him, she would have said that as well. So she said that she didn't tweet that anything happened to the guy, but she said something to him, and she was standing right next to him.
Woo! But luck was on his side yesterday. Like, bro, if we would have stayed at least 25 more minutes, man, like.
Because I think I definitely saw some of the more rabid Falcons fans that I see on Twitter yesterday, and they were sitting in a nice little section. We had pretty much walked away when that happened. If that section was around when he did that, it might have got rowdy out there.
It did. you know it did. Because as soon as Julio came over there, man, everybody was rushing to him. Everybody that was sitting on top of the hill, they were running down the hill. Julio. Like they like Julio was Michael Jackson or something. Like it was this big woman who ran down. She rolled down the hill trying to get to Julio. All right, and and me, like I'm trying. Look, autographs was for kids, okay? So I'm not bagged up and let the kids take our place. Trampling the kids, like. Come on now. I'm pretty sure y'all parents taught y'all better than this now. Like, don't try to stampede over somebody else's child. I just, when Julio came, I went the other way, like, because there was Caleb McGarry on the other side. So I went to go see Caleb McGarry. He signed my bucket hat. So I got a signature from Caleb McGarry. I got a signature from John Kaminsky, Jordan Miller. Also Eric Sauber, he signed my hat as well. So I'm good. I don't really need a signature from Julio or Matt. Right? It'd be nice, but when there's a big crowd like that and little kids trying to get to him as well, like I just step to the side. I politely step to the side and just say, hey, it ain't working.
All I need from Julio is Matt for me to convert third down. That's all I need from Julio.
That's all I need from him. I don't think I need those rules in the Super Bowl. I'm cool. All right, I'll be fine. But anyway, all right. So there's been a lot of talk, and there's been a lot of talk this whole offseason. Matter of fact, Matt, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with Lieutenant Dan, right? To the ground.
Yep.
Mike Sports.
Sure.
And, all right.
All those guys.
Yeah. So we've been pretty much talking about for almost a year now, well, over a year now, that we're installing the Falcons trying to install a 34 defense or bringing in a 34 defense.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying it for a while too, because I first noticed it back in 2017 in the preseason, when they still had like Brooks Reed and all that they were standing some of those guys up along the edges. They were putting 3 down linemen. So this isn't really anything new. I just think we're seeing an increased usage of it. I think Dan Quinn's coming to a realization that the personnel that they have in Atlanta now on defense fits some of those looks. When you look at Vic Beasley, I think he's the greatest example of it because, they've been trying to, I think, force a square peg into a round hole with him, trying to make him a defensive end. And he's kind of proven now the last couple of years he's not a defensive end. He's more of a hybrid guy where he's more of a rush 3-4 outside linebacker. And I think using his athleticism in those areas, dropping him in the coverage occasionally. I saw one clip when they were working in the red zone this week. I did see Vic Beasley popping out to the flat, defending, a tight end or a fullback or whatever. So I think using him that way is probably the best use of his skill set now. We can say that, I think, without a shadow of a doubt. So, with him standing up on the outside, I think Takk McKinley's athletic enough where it can fit his skill set well. And I think, also they made the point that standing those guys up will help them in the run game to set a better edge rather than them being, in a 3-point stance, having to pop up engage. So, yeah, exactly. So, I just think it makes sense. I don't think necessarily, this is their defense, like you said. They're just adding more elements to it. But two, I think it's worth pointing out that the 4-3 under base defense that Dan Quinn brought from Seattle kind of does function like a 3-4, in itself.
Baffert as well. So.
Yeah. So and that's just simply bringing up, a 6th guy to the line of scrimmage, whether it's Keanu Neal, the strong safety, or the will linebacker, Devondre Campbell. So that's all that means. But again, they were doing a lot of that stuff when they were a 4-3 team. And again, they're still going to be a 4-3 team. It's just a matter of like, the Sam linebacker functions as a rush outside linebacker. They're close to the line of scrimmage. The Leo is basically just a wide 9, rush outside linebacker. So this isn't anything new. I just think, again, it fits their personnel. I think that's why they're accumulating all these defensive, interior defensive linemen that they have. Rashid Hageman coming back, bringing in Alan Bailey, obviously, bringing in Kaminsky, Crawford, Jarrett, Davison. Did I mention Sanat? So they have like 6 to 7 bodies in there, and I think that makes sense for those guys in that defense because those are the 3 down linemen. So to have an accumulation of them, it makes sense. My only concern is, do they have enough rush outside linebackers? Like, what happens, God forbid, Takk McKinley goes down or Vic Beasley goes down? There's not a whole lot behind those guys. I mean, Adrian Claiborne is the next man up, and he can play that role. I'm curious to see how he does in a stand-up technique. I mean, I think I've seen a few reps from him already in past seasons, but I think they need to maybe add another edge rusher at some point. I mean, that would be my one expectation when they do roster cut downs. If there's an outside position or an outside player to add, it would be.
They got Campbell. Campbell can.
Yeah, Campbell is one that I have down for that role as well. So they have 4 guys as it stands, and that's why I think Uric Bethune is a guy to watch out for because he's a guy who's shown some pass rush prowess. Showed a nice spin move against Matt Gano earlier in the week. and he's the guy that, in college at Alabama A&M, smaller school, but has shown some pass rushing potential. So, if there's any of the undrafted free agents, we touched on Zacchaeus, but I think Bethune's a guy as a fifth edge rusher. If they decided to not go outside the building, Yerrick Bethune could stick because of that reason to play as a 3-4 outside linebacker.
I want to point out that one thing I think that whatever you want to call the new look, 46 bear, 5'3", 6'2".
Yeah.
I think one thing is going to benefit is I want to piggyback on standing the ends up, of course, in the run game. It just allows you to see better.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, though, but you can also scheme them, and they can attack different gaps.
Yep.
Well, okay, that's gonna be my second point.
Like standing on the ground.
You don't know who's dropping. You don't know who's coming. Yeah.
My second point is this year as well, we play many athletic quarterbacks, and we play some teams that's going to roll the pocket.
Yeah.
So having Vic and Tack being able to stand up, because we're going to play Kyler Murray, we're going to play. I just had 5 or 6 names in my head.
We're going to play Cam Newton.
Yeah, we're going to play Cam twice.
We're going to play Garoppolo. We're going to play Carson Wentz, Jameis Winston. Need to say any more quarterbacks that that are very dynamic. So
I think Dan Quinn made that point as far as the mobile quarterbacks that they're going to have on their schedule, and that's partly why they're doing this as well. So I totally agree with that.
Yeah. So like I said, just having
too. I forgot about that. So.
Yeah, just having, like I say, Vic being able and Tack being able to stand up and chase those guys when they try to roll the pocket or get outside, that's going to benefit from there. That wide 9 type, that eliminates that. It kind of keeps those guys in the pocket as much and doesn't let them extend the play. Once you don't let them extend the play, you're able to play tighter zone coverage, because we know about zone coverage. The longer the quarterback can stay in the pocket, the zone expands. When the zone expands, guys get more open. So basically, you're keeping that guy in the pocket. That's helping out on the back end a lot.
Yep.
All right. So I really think this defense is gonna really improve this year. Not only because Dan Quinn calling it is running it, but I really think that we're gonna be a multifaceted defense. Playing 34, having the bear front, still doing 4-3 under. I really think, and the main thing, and Dan Quinn said this too this offseason, we got to stop the run. These past couple of seasons under Marco Emmanuel, we did not do a good job of stopping the run. If you cannot stop the run, you don't have control of the game. You don't have control of the game, you're going to end up losing it.
Yep.
They don't care how talented Matt Ryan is or Julio Jones is. They're no good if they sitting on the sideline.
Yeah, I mean, too many times, you would look at a matchup and you would be like, yeah, that other team is more physical than us. They're going to dominate us in the trenches, and that starts with the run game and stuff. So that needs to change, and hopefully bringing in guys like Tyler Davison, who's really good at the point of attack, at the nose. Bringing in Alan Bailey, I think he's a guy that's not going to get pushed around. He's going to be the strong side.
He's huge.
Yeah, I mean, he's an athletic.
He's
an athletic freak. And I saw him pushing around. Again, he's a rookie, and Chris Lindstrom's going to be a great player, but him bull rushing him and pushing him in the back, I mean, you could just tell this guy, is a bull in a china shop, basically. So they added him. Tack McKinley's a guy that doesn't get tossed around too many times. And Jarrett's a top 5 defensive tackle. So I don't have my hopes. I'm not getting my hopes up because we've gotten our hopes up with the defense before, but I'm super excited about where they're going, who they've added. Now Dan Quinn's got his hands on the defense. He's going to let his players play, put them in the right positions. So I do think, and I'm optimistic, that the defense is going to show, tremendous strides and, could potentially flirt with a top 10 unit.
But here's my thing, Matt, and I'm sorry to cut you off.
No.
Come on now. We got to. I know being optimistic, but let's just call a spade a spade. Alan Bailey and even Tyler Davison, those are upgrades from Terrell McClain.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Like
They've
you can only
upgraded.
print up when you get two players like when you get rid of Terrell McClain and you
Right.
add a player like Davison and
There's no
Bailey,
question.
and then you bring back Sheed.
Yeah.
You bring back Sheed. Come on
And,
now.
and he's your 9th or 10th guy at best. So yeah, there's no question they might have done it in a very quiet manner and not the manner that we hoped for in the draft using top resources, but they did upgrade the defensive line this year. I mean, you're absolutely right. Upgrading the nose tackle, Davison's an upgrade over McLean. You let Brooks Reed go. Brooks Reed was a serviceable player, but I think bringing in Adrian Claiborne, he provides more, in the pass rush, and even he can provide what
More in the run game.
what Reed did in the run game. I don't know how much we'll see of it, but he can certainly do that if he's on the field for it. So you upgraded there, and then Bailey, obviously, for those that follow me know I never liked Derek Shelby. I thought he was a ghost out there on the field.
Who did like Shelby?
Aaron might have at times. He'll stand for him, but you know how Aaron is. All love, Aaron, all love. But so bringing in Alan Bailey to play what Derek Shelby did, I mean, that's going to be a tremendous upgrade. He's going to add some pass rush use. I think 4 sacks is something you can expect from Bailey. He had 6 last year in a career year, but Shelby gave you no sacks, so 4 is a tremendous improvement there. In addition to what he can do in the run game, taking on double teams and all that. So yeah, I mean, they might have done it in a very quiet fashion using minimal resources, but there's no question the Falcons improved 3 to 4 spots on their defensive line this offseason, which that's got to make fans feel pretty good.
Hopefully, like I say, Alan Bailey, the sack numbers will go down because when you're playing Kansas City, the other team is always passing because they're usually behind.
Right,
So he has a lot of pass rush opportunities. So hopefully, no, actually, you're right. Hopefully, it's the same thing. I'm sorry, you're right. Hopefully that we're winning a lot and teams always passing.
I mean, that's I think the formula is they this offense raced out to a big lead, and then the defense at its best. I mean, we saw it I think in 2017 at times. When they got out to leads, or even 2016 towards the end of the Super Bowl run, when they got out to big leads,
your ears back.
They can pin your ears back. Deion Jones is best when he can just be in coverage all the time, which is what you would need to be when you're down, the opposing team's down. So him flying all over the field, the other guys flying around. So that's the formula. Hopefully the offense can do its part. I see no reason. I mean, I said it on Falcon Central Radio last Tuesday. There's no reason this offense shouldn't average 30 points a game next season. With all the pieces they have, the improvements to the offensive line, Julio Jones, Mohamed Sanu, Calvin Ridley in year 2, Devontae Freeman returning, MVP quarterback and Matt Ryan. There's absolutely no reason this offense shouldn't average 30 points a game. And, if they don't, I'm going to be pointing the finger at the coaching staff again. I don't think there's any other excuse for it because they got all the pieces. As long as they can stay healthy, there's no reason this offense shouldn't be averaging 30 points a game. And if they are, they're going to be towards the top of the league, and they're going to be out to big leads.
I really think this offense. If it scores 30 points a game, cool. But I really think what Quinn is trying to do, what he wants out of his offensive coordinator, Dirk Carter, is to be more balanced. What I mean by that is, if we can just run, I really think we're going to be running the ball more this year because you run the ball, you get more clock.
Yeah. Hopefully we can run the ball. I mean, we couldn't convert any first downs. We couldn't run the ball.
Yeah, look at a team like the Patriots. Patriots, they normally sometimes win games just scoring like 24 points, 28 points.
Right.
And that's just all about just time of possession of the game. They just wear you out, just pounding the rock.
No, I'm sure, there was a quote in 2017 that Dan Quinn had as far as, the team finding different ways to win. And sometimes that's what you need to do depending on, what the situation calls for. So he's fine winning that way. But I mean, Super Bowl aside, in 2016, when the offense was soaring at its peak and they were putting up 35 points a game and they were still running the football, they were keeping teams honest. They were balanced. You never knew what was hitting you. So, again, I don't know if Well will return to that level. I doubt it. But I think he just wants the run game to be efficient, and it wasn't efficient at all. They would carry the football, 20 times, but they wouldn't be getting much out of it. So they want to go back to how it was with that, where they're ripping off 5 to 6 yards of carry, hitting the home run ball every now and then in the run game. But again, if he wants to try to create the identity that Seattle has with like really being a 50-50 team, run and pass. in this NFL, that's not a recipe for success. So hopefully that's not the case, and hopefully it's just, again, he just wants the run game to be more efficient, which is not what it was this past year. Because if it is, the latter, and he is trying to create Seattle of the East or Seattle of the South, fans shouldn't be really happy about that, because again, in today's NFL, it's a passing league. That's the most efficient way to move the football. Why take the ball out of your MVP quarterback's hands, more times than not? That's not smart. So, again, I just think with Devontae Freeman coming back, I think a lot of the run game issues will go away. With the improvements to the offensive line, the run game issues will go away. And that's why, again, I don't want to get into the Sark thing, but that's why I think he's a little bit of a scapegoat, because the offensive line started breaking down. He lost his top back. But yeah, I don't want to get into that. But I think, here with the upgrades to the personnel, Devontae coming back, I don't see why the run game wouldn't get back to how it was in 2015, 2016, and then the early parts of 2017. So that's my thoughts on that.
Okay.
All right. We'll go back to the chat real quick. We had plenty of comments before we going back to the Super Bowl. 20 Eric put, after going up 28-3, Matt Ryan was 5 of 8, 62.5% for 86 yards. Teammates allowed 3 sacks. He fumbled once, blown assignment by 3. 4 penalties for 30 yards, and the defense gave up 34 points. Yeah, we want to blame it all on that. Jarvis Williams, he brought up that possibly Trufant in the next couple of years would be a casualty, so some of the DBs, might get a chance to step up. Ruben Alameda, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to delete your comment. I was scrolling. I did it by accident. He said that was some BS. I'm pretty sure he was talking about Matt Ryan's teammates in the Super Bowl, but I didn't mean to delete your comment. I did that by accident. That Georgia boy, every week he has to put this. I believe he put this to mess with you, Don. He can't wait to Vic gone. He gets in the chat. He puts that every week.
Look, y'all gonna be real surprised. Sometime this season, at the end of this season, they're gonna offer him a contract, 4 years, 15 mil. I'm just letting y'all know it's gonna come.
And Mad Mike said Matt is saying everything we've been saying for a long time. I'm pretty sure he was when you were talking about the 3-4 looks going back to Seattle.
Appreciate that, Mike.
On that. Michael Branner, what's up? What's going on, Michael? Thanks for joining us. He said that he thinks Dre is good in that 3-4 stand up. Oh, definitely good as well, because we know Dre can stand over. His primary is covering tight ends, which
yeah, he'll still be able to do that. I've been wanting to see him in that pass rushing role for the last couple of years, and I think injuries, hit in 2017 with Duke Riley, so he had to go back to inside, and then last year with Dion going down, he had to go back to inside. So now hopefully everyone stays healthy, and you will get to see Devondre in more pass rushing roles, because I think that's probably his best position is being like Vic and being a rusher, but also dropping in the coverage, eliminating those tight ends, doing a little bit of everything, Swiss Army knife. So hopefully
the Falcons love the way that Dre covers the tight end. So Dre doesn't get as much love, but the Falcons do love the way that Dre covers tight ends. He also, Michael Branner also put in here, I want to expand on. Michael Branner asked, can Vic set the edge in the run game from that spot? I think it gives him the advantage, Michael, because when you're talking about a 5 or 7 technique playing right on that tackle's outside shoulder, Vic has to engage that tackle, and that's not his strong suit in the running game. When you put him out here in that 9 as well, now we're talking about outside zone, stretch zone. He's not battling guards and tackles out there. He's able to step up and set the edge for a running back. So I think it suits him better in that example, because he's not battling tackles in the box. He's already outside of the box. So I think that'll help.
The only thing he got to worry about there is like not trying not to get washed out by a guard that's pulling.
Yeah,
that's about it. So, yeah, Jarvis, I'm ready. He said some black dude in the tank top.
Is he talking about who hit Mike? Who hit Matt Ryan? Oh, okay.
Yeah. He said nothing happened. He said nothing happened, and he said he wanted to fight us when he got called out.
Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you.
And it says ZWFWC. I'm not sure what your nickname is.
Z.
DQ was a problem.
His name's Z.
Okay, Z. He said DQ was a problem, but the dirt hiring, he realized he was wrong. He realized that what you're saying basically that he got an experienced OC and got rid of Sark. Is that what you mean by that, Z? Okay. He says in the next comment, we blame Sark, but DQ deserved the blame as well. Hey, the blame always goes to the top. Just like in the Super Bowl, I still say the blame goes in the top. DQ, when you notice that man didn't run the football, you're supposed to go over there and say, hey, why aren't we running the football? So I certainly agree with that.
And here's the thing, though, and I'm gonna compare, and a lot of people don't like me comparing Dan Quinn with Mike Smith, but the thing about Dan Quinn is he learned from his mistakes. All right, he see that he make a mistake and he just go back, he reevaluate it, he learned from it.
Yeah.
Smith, with him not developing players at all, and just allowing Mike Nolan to continue to be on the staff after that 2013 season, just being god awful, and bringing them back in 2014, like he deserved to get fired. He deserved to get fired because like you pretty much wasted 2 years.
Your boy Jazzy Jeff joined chat. He said, "What up, fam? What we talking about?" Man, you joined at the end of the show, Jeff.
Falcons football, man. Falcons football.
That Georgia boy said they better not give Vic a new deal, and Jazzy Jeff said he can earn it this year. And Mike Smith was a horrible game clock manager. So far, DQ ain't been the greatest game clock manager himself. So I don't know what it is. DQ ain't the greatest in that area as well. But just like you said, he brought in some help this year, experienced guys, experienced head coaches that can help him with that. So you don't have to know everything, but you have to get somebody to know the things you don't know that you do.
Yeah. All right, and let's look at all right. So the unofficial depth chart came out, and so if the season started tomorrow, well, say for instance we play a week 1 game tomorrow. This is what it'll look like. So receiver, you'll have Julio Jones out there, and then left tackle will be Jake Matthews. Left guard will be Jamon Brown. Center Alex Mack. Right guard Chris Lindstrom, and right tackle Todd Sombrello. I know a lot of people saying, well, why Caleb McGarry is not going to be the starter right tackle. He's not ready yet. And then on top of that, you don't want 2 rookies side by side on the line. You just begging for Matt Ryan to get injured, get hurt. You don't want to do that to your quarterback that's getting paid $30 million a year. I wouldn't. But we believe Caleb McGarry is gonna start. It's just not gonna be week 1. He may end up getting the starting. He might start probably around week 9, 10 or something like that. So your tight ends, Austin Hooper, wide receiver, your outside wide receiver is gonna be Sanu. We already know who the quarterback is gonna be. Come on now. Running back, Devontae Freeman. Now, the depth chart for the running back, you have Freeman as first, second, Ito Smith, third, Olsen. Then it gets difficult from that point on because you have Kenyon Barters fourth, Brian Hill the fifth, and then Brooks James is the sixth. So we carrying a lot of running backs. And Marcus Green, yeah, we drafted him out of Louisiana Monroe as a running back, but on the depth chart, he's a receiver because we have more spots open as a receiver than running back. So, and in your receiver positions, you have after Julio, you got Russell Gage, Devin Gray, Monday Zacharias, Sean, is it Bain, and then Khalil Lewis. After Sanu, you have Calvin Ridley, Justin Hardy, Marcus Green, Christian Blake, and C.J. Watson. So, and then you still have a full back position in Ricky Ortiz. He's still on the team. So some of these guys gonna get cut, you guys. So I see a lot of these offensive. Everybody I just called. Some of those players not going to be here after week 2 of the preseason. So defense, your defensive ends, you have Tack. Behind him, you have Claiborne. Behind Claiborne, you have Austin Larkin. And then after Larkin, you have Trey Crawford. Defensive tackles, we have Grady Jarrett. Behind Grady Jarrett, you have Jack Crawford, and you have Justin Zimmer. And the other D tackle spot, you have Tyler Davidson. Behind Davidson, you have Deidre Sanat. And after Deidre Sanat, you have Rasheed Hageman. All right. Your right DNs, you have Alan Bailey. Behind Bailey, you have John Kaminsky, and then you have Jacob Mariner. And then, see, this is okay. Yeah, they got another third. They have a third defensive end. I guess.
Yeah, so that's why the whether you call it a 5-2-4 or 3-4, that's kind of why I think they have it looking like that, and why we're continuing to talk about this, because I think here is where when you talk about Tack McKinley, that's your one edge, and then now here you have Vic Beasley, Chris Odom, Yurick Bethune, and Durant Miles being your other edge on the opposite side.
But on the official Falcons website, Beasley, he's listed as an outside linebacker, though. I don't know why they got him as DN. But
well, you're looking at the official website. That's where I'm getting this from too, and they have him as the DN there, the third DN.
Yeah.
So again, that's why I think, and even the one that I tweeted out, yesterday, or the day before, from Vaughn McClure, it had it the same way. It had it, Vic Beasley being that third defensive end, and then Chris Odom backing him up, Yurick Bethune backing him up, and Durant Miles backing him up. So I just think it's a matter of, again, they're
the scheme we go to.
Yeah, they're going to be running that like 3-4 hybrid look, or bare front, or whatever you want to call it. That's going to be maybe their base personnel, and that's why you have 3 defensive ends showing.
Yeah, because right now, it makes sense, because they only have 2 linebacker positions,
right? Like inside linebackers that you would have in a 3-4. So yeah,
because normally you have a right linebacker, your middle linebacker, you have your right outside linebacker and your left outside linebacker.
Right.
They don't have that right here, so they just have 2 linebackers, and the first, which is going to be the strong. Yeah, these are going to be the Sam linebackers. Sam or weak linebackers.
Well, I think this is actually the weak side linebacker. You got Devondre Foy Aluku and Duke Riley. Yeah. So I mean, we're basically saying here too, this is almost like nickel personnel. So you have 2 coverage linebackers in nickel personnel. So I don't even know how important the distinctions are, but if I had to guess, I'd say this is the weak side linebacker with Devondre, and then you got the Mike listed with Deion Jones, Bruce Carter, Jermaine Grace, and Delshawn Phillips. And I think with Kamal Ishmael now being permanently transitioned to strong safety with the J.J. Wilcox news, I think this kind of helped Bruce Carter out, because I wasn't sure if Bruce Carter was going to make the team, but I think now he's kind of safely their 4th linebacker. And then it's really just a matter of Duke Riley, Jermaine Grace battling it out for 5 or 6 if they want to, depending on how many they want to carry. I think
they may end up carrying. I think they're going to end up carrying 6.
I mean, they've carried 6 in the past, so that's the safe bet. But again, if they want to hold more defensive linemen because of this new front that they're going to deploy, maybe one less linebacker makes the cut. And that's kind of what I've been speculating on Twitter, is that I think maybe they're only going to carry 5, and it's between Grace and Riley. But now, with them signing Stephon Anthony, who knows what they're expecting from him. Like, if they want him to be rostered, then I think the safe bet again would be 6 if he's going to make the team. But we'll see what happens with that. I think he's just competition to maybe push Riley, push Grace. I don't necessarily expect him, because he hasn't been good in his career. I mean, he was, he had a lot of fans coming out of Clemson, late first-round pick, but he has just not been good in the NFL, and I'm just not sure what Dan Quinn and the staff can get out of him.
Because I really think that he played out of position. They played him out of position.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe that's the case.
And I really think because Dan Quinn knows how to feature his players.
Sure, that's one of his best traits. Yep, as a coach.
So I'm pretty sure we brought him in this late in the game. I'm pretty sure he's going to end up making the team.
All right.
That's just my prediction.
Okay.
So going to the cornerbacks, you got Isaiah Oliver. Behind him, you have Bree Wilson, and then after him, Kendall Sheffield. After him, you have Rashad Kautsy, and then everybody's, I guess, coach favorite, Jason Stanley.
I'm rooting for Jason Stanley.
Yeah, I don't think they'll carry out these. I don't think they'll carry out these DBs, man.
Oh no, Jason Stanley. If he can make it out of Ghana, he'll make the team. We met Jason Stanley's uncle and cousins out at training camp yesterday, man. Yeah. What's up, Unc?
I think we only go carry. I think we will probably go carry what six or seven.
6 is what they've done. Yeah, I think 6.
Yeah, and then you got Desmond Trufant behind him. You have KZ, then you have Jordan Miller, then you have Ryan Neal, and then you have Twazi Calhoun. And then your safeties, you have Ricardo Allen. Behind Allen, you have Sherrod Niesman. And then behind him, you have Chris Cooper. And then you have Keanu Neal. After Neal, you have Kamal Ishmael. Then you have Parker Baldwin and Jason Thompson. All right. Hey, special teams, we got punter Bosch, his job is safe, and Giorgio Tavecchio, his job is safe as well. So then lone snapper, you have Josh Harris. So that's pretty much your unofficial depth chart. It's going to end up changing because we got to get it down to 53 men by what week is it? Week 3 or week 4 of preseason?
I think they go through all the games. They changed this pretty recently where they used to make waves of cuts, but now I think they just roll with the 90 all the way through the preseason, believe it or not. Because that's when we get that final preseason game where, all these guys, guys number 60 through 90 are seeing a lot of time.
But I saw last night, the past couple of seasons though, that we go from 90 and end up like by week 3 we had like 70 players on the team. So they make some cuts after week 2.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to double check on that. I don't think that was the case last year, but I'll certainly double check that, tweet that out at some point. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, they gotta get this down eventually to 53, and there's we got 90 right now. But the one point I want to make too is we call this an unofficial depth chart. I think a lot of this is somewhat official as far as where these guys are stacking up. I mean, there's particular cases like I'm not necessarily sure, and who knows, maybe Devin Gray is the 6th receiver as of right now if the season were to start, and he's ahead of Marcus Green, he's ahead of Olamide Zaccheaus. But with Green being a draft pick, I think his roster spot's safe. So there's instances like that where even in the running back room, Brian Hill's ahead of Quadri Olson, which I would expect Quadri Olson being a 5th round pick. He's the 3rd running back right now. His spot's safe. But everywhere else you look, it seems to make sense right now as far as where the guys are positioned. So I think fans can actually use this and see where the team is rating these players going into preseason game 1.
All right.
Preseason.
Yeah. You have anything else, Coach?
No, man. That was it, man. I want to thank everybody for joining us in the chat. Falconator did join us late. Thank you for joining us, Falconator. And I think we shouted out everybody else who was in the chat. Yeah.
All right, Matt, go ahead and plug your information.
Yeah, well, if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do so. Matt Karoly, at Matt Karoly, MattKaroly. You can catch some of my writing at riseupreader.com. I'm gonna drop a Tony Gonzalez tribute piece this coming week. Just get ready for the Hall of Fame ceremony and all that. So that'll probably be Wednesday. And then you can catch Aaron and I's show, Falcon Central Radio, every Tuesday night. Now we're doing live shows, and we got a special guest I think in the works for this Tuesday show. I think everyone's going to enjoy. So make sure you check that out and catch us every Tuesday night throughout the season. But Yeah, guys, I appreciate you having me on. We'll have to do this again really soon. This was a lot of fun.
Thanks for joining us, man. Thanks for joining us, everybody in the chat. Once again, thanks for joining us. Coach. I'm coach. Why do I do that every time? I do that at the end of everyone. Let them know where they'll be able to check this out at now.
All right, so y'all know y'all can check us out on Twitter at FILA_SP. Check us out on Instagram and Facebook at FILA Sports Podcast. Also, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. We appreciate the support. We try to grow our channel. Also, share this content with other Atlanta sports fanatics. Also, hit that like button. And also, please hit us up in the comment section if you're watching this video at a later time. We're going to be doing some new stuff to our brand. We're going to try to enhance our presentation because I know sometimes our shows at the beginning of the show can be kind of blah. We're going to try to enhance our presentation to make our podcast a little more modern.
We should have a contest. Somebody do a rap intro for us.
Oh, I already got the rap. You already know I got the rap part already, man.
There you go.
I already got the song already set, so we good on that. I got the set. I got the video, the intro video, all that. We good.
Yeah. And I thought so. That Georgia boy just said. I guess he looked it up. He said, yeah, they did change it. Done all final cuts at the end of the preseason. I knew they changed something. I just didn't know.
So when they changed it, though?
I think it was just this past year. Last year was the first year that they did.
Last year. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it used to be like you said, waves of cuts. You had to have so many by this day, so many by this day. But what they were doing, coaches start complaining because you get to the end of camp, and now I got my starters in, and he's banged up, and I got to use them. Well, let me use some of these camp bodies. So basically, I have them. So that's what some of the coaches, and I think that's what end up.
Oh, my bad. I'm still thinking how it was back. A couple of seasons. So I'm I need to get with the program. That's my fault.
Yeah. Appreciate you looking that up for us, that Georgia boy.
Yeah, we appreciate it. All right. Well, y'all on Thursday is gonna be the first game. I know it's a preseason game, Hall of Fame game. We're excited. Tony Gonzalez is gonna go in the Hall of Fame. We're gonna be watching it. If y'all want us to, I guess
we'll be tweeting.
We'll tweet it or we'll be on Facebook Live or whatever the case may be. We probably won't do a show out because the game will go off real late and folks got to go to work the next day. So, but yes, we'll live tweet it. We'll be on Facebook chat and all that. So if y'all want to hit us up through the live game, y'all can. So, but we'll be back this Sunday with another show. We're gonna talk about the Braves, and if anything happened this week, we'll be back as well. If anything,
camp news, like I say, Georgia Tech and Georgia started in camp, so I'm pretty sure we'll have plenty of stuff to talk about now.
Exactly. All right. So, as always,
come holla.
It's your hometown
sports podcast.
On that note, we'll see y'all later. Y'all have a great week. Be good.